Coming your way on the San Francisco 49ers Report, we're going to preview this game against the Los Angeles Rams and also take your questions and your super chats as they come in. First, though, today's show, presented by LinkedIn Talent Solutions. If you're running a business out there and you want to post your job for free and you want to end the 2022 calendar year on the right note, you can really find some quality candidates with LinkedIn Talent Solutions. Head to linkedin.com/NFL Daily to post your job for free today. We'll put that link in the comment section and the description of this video. A reminder before we get started, though, we will be doing a watch party against the Los Angeles Rams. The previous matchup between these two rival teams in the NFC West, 90,000 people joined us on our last watch party. Hopefully we can overtake that number this week. In order to do that, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications and get into the comment section right now and type FLA, FLA, FLA. It's a huge game for both San Francisco and Los Angeles at what is going to be Levi Stadium South, right outside of Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium. A sea of red expected to be on hand. So coming your way on the show, do just want to relay some of my keys to the game in a victory that would take place if the 49ers do all of these things against LA, and then also we're going to be taking your questions. And the 49ers are road favorites in this game. The spread coming in right now at -1. The over-under set at 43. Kickoff set for 4:25 p.m. Eastern, 1:25 p.m. Pacific. If you're going to this game, let us know in the comment section, because if you send us a video or a picture during Sunday's watch party, we'll get you featured on the show. So my keys to the game. Kyle Shanahan has to continue to own Sean McVay. He has won 7 of his last 8 against McVay. That lone loss coming in the NFC Championship game, which a lot of people are still very, very salty about. But Kyle Shanahan has been Sean McVay's daddy, and he has to continue to be Sean McVay's daddy. And we'll be drinking out of the baby bottle if Kyle Shanahan is able to take down McVay once again. And we know that Kyle Shanahan used to be McVay's boss, and he has been the boss man over McVay. But Kyle Shanahan no doubt has to be better. He has to coach against the rest of the National Football League like he coaches against Sean McVay. And these numbers are very, very troubling, and this is why a lot of people are fed up with Kyle Shanahan. During his Niners tenure and this year, when down at halftime, San Francisco since 2017, 7-30. This year, 0-2. They've been down at recess in back-to-back games against the Atlanta Falcons and the Kansas City Chiefs. When the Niners are down going into the fourth quarter, this year, 0-2. All-time in the Shanahan San Francisco era, 4-31, as these numbers continue to be abysmal. Down 3+ points after 3 quarters. Since 2017, the San Francisco 49ers are 1-30. Next key to the game. San Francisco simply just has to clean it up. They have to play a clean ball game against the Rams. Just like the Niners are desperate for a win, the Rams are also desperate. Just like the Niners have gotten off to a slow start, so too have the Los Angeles Rams. And this division right now is up for grabs. You're telling me that the Seattle Seahawks are better than San Francisco with Geno Smith as the quarterback? I'm not buying it. They may have killed this draft. They might be playing good complementary football. They're not a better team than San Francisco, as we saw as evidence in week 2. So this division is up for grabs, but if you continue to turn the football over, if you continue to be one of the more off-penalized teams in the NFL, that's a recipe for disaster. And all of these numbers right here, unacceptable. San Francisco, 57 penalties this year. That's tied for the 5th most in the NFL. 27 of those penalties coming on the offensive side of the football. That's 9th worst in the NFL. 23 defensive penalties, tied for 9th. 7 special teams penalties, that's tied for 7th. And 350 penalty yards, that is 12th in the NFL. That comes down to the coach. San Francisco has to clean it up. Also, how about this one? Return of the defense. Look, after the first several weeks of the year, we were talking about this Niners defense as being historic, one of the best in franchise history, maybe being the best Niners defense since you go back to 2012 when Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman were on that team. The 2019 defense was great, but I don't think they had the level of playmakers that this defense has. But you would never know that if you tuned into the Niners games against Atlanta and against KC. The 49ers defense has been thrashed, dominated, and embarrassed in consecutive weeks. More keys against the Los Angeles Rams. Got to pressure Matthew Stafford. Niner fans know that when you generate a pass rush on Matthew Stafford, when you muddy the pocket, when you have defenders flying around his feet, in his face, He's going to turn the football over like he did in that first matchup when Talanoa Hufanga brought that pick six back for the touchdown. Limit Cooper Kupp. This year, he's averaging more than 100 yards per game through the air, but he's really their only weapon. So if you limit him and force Stafford to throw to the inept up to this point, Allen Robinson or Tyler Higbee, this Niners defense can once again get on track. Ball security, as I said, going to be important. When you lose the turnover battle, you lose 80% of the games in the NFL. The offense has to just show up and be a little bit more consistent. Outside of the opening script, this Niners offense has been really lackluster, mediocre, and average this year. Outside of those first couple of drives when Kyle Shanahan is able to script those plays out and the Niners practice it, the lack of adjustments has been troubling, and the second quarter, or a second half offense, I should say, has not been good. And since Christian McCaffrey is going to be with this team by game time for more than a week, utilize him a little bit more. Get creative with your usage of Christian McCaffrey. Run some screenplays for him. Run them in between the tackles. Run them outside of the tackles. Most importantly, though, use them on third downs. The Niners didn't do that at all against KC. And use him as a decoy to free up Brandon Ayuk, to free up Deebo Samuel, to help out George Kittle, and alleviate the pressure off Jimmy Garoppolo. So who you got in this game? Get those predictions in right now before we start taking your questions. SF for the Niners, LAR for the Los Angeles Rams. Let me know. We want to hear from the faithful. As I mentioned off the top of the show, 49ers Report is presented by LinkedIn Talent Solutions. If you're an employer out there, you can post your job for free at linkedin.com/NFL Daily. And these days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps find the right people for your team faster and for free. Then you add your job and the purple hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring. And here, it's about to be November, folks. If you're running a business, you want to see your business finish strong during this calendar year. And for us at Chat Sports, it's no different. We've been able to add to our staff thanks to all of your support of the Niners Report, and we've been able to make quality hires like producer Trace and myself thanks to LinkedIn Talent Solutions. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on the right candidates with just the right skills and experience. So post your job for free at linkedin.com/NFL Daily. Terms and conditions apply. We will put that link in the comments section and the description of this video. We're going to continue to move forward on today's show by answering some of your questions about this football game coming up and about this football team in general. Dust with another $5 super chat. I think the game against the Chiefs, the pinnacle of what the Niners should measure themselves against. With that being said, we sucked. And Dust, I agree with you. The Chiefs showed on Sunday, in the game of the weekend, by the way, just how good they are and the measuring stick for what it's like to be an elite team. And San Francisco hung with KC through the first three quarters, so the Niners showed that they're not far away from being that elite team. They just have to be better at the end of the day. Orlando, Niners should trade for Greedy Williams for some cornerback help. I covered that earlier in this week, and I totally agree on our Monday show. Greedy Williams is a player who, Niner fans won't like to hear this, has been injured a lot, but was drafted in the second round out of LSU. In 2021, he had 10 pass breakups. This year, he started the year on IR, so he's only played 2 games up to this point. But the talent is there, the pedigree is there, and the Niners have a need there at cornerback because since Emmanuel Mosley went down, this pass defense in the secondary has not been good. IFR Dries for Denmark. We should trade for offensive line talent, which teams and who should be in play, not just depth, something elite if we were to go all in. Now, the Niners basically went all in with Christian McCaffrey. And honestly, the offensive line has been a little bit better than some people had anticipated. Aaron Banks has not given up a sack this year. I think that Spencer Burford at right guard has been solid. Trent Williams is an all-pro when he's healthy. He didn't play like that against KC. I have a feeling he'll play like that against the Rams. But IFR Dries, you're right, center and right tackle. Here's the issue with that. You want to make a trade for Andre Dillard for the Philadelphia Eagles, you might have to give up a first or second round pick. The Niners don't have that any longer. If you want to trade for a center, you can't do that because centers are few and far between to get, especially midseason, because other teams are trying to hone in on that position. So when it comes down to center, not a lot of guys available there. Julian Ross, what's good, brother? Chase, with the remaining schedule, your take on the win-loss record. Now, I said at the start of the year that the 49ers would win about 10 games. I still think that's in play. They've won 3 as of now. They're sitting at 3-4, 7 games total with 10 left to play. So I do think they could still finish with about 10 wins. I see Marcos Garcia in the comment section here. Get off Trent's nipples. He keeps getting hurt in penalties. Well, it's funny that you say that, Marcos Garcia, because last year he was the highest graded player in football. I hope you're sitting down for this. He was the highest graded player in football. Played a lot of games last year. Has he gotten hurt? Yes. He also plays in the trenches. Was he good against KC? He was not. And I just said that. So I'm keeping it real. And if you want to keep it real with me, I'll keep it real as well with some numbers that prove that he's the best left tackle in the game, which he is. IFR Drees, this is the content I stay awake for at midnight. Not only do you have the news and the rumors before anybody else, you also provide us with this elite entertainment. Love you guys. For Denmark, hey, appreciate you, man. And look, a lot of people get into the comment section and say, Chase, why do you talk about these rumors? These things will never happen. We were ahead of the Christian McCaffrey trade before any other Niners rumor out there, before any other Niners channel out there. We were talking about the Christian McCaffrey trade weeks ago. So we were ahead of the game, and I told you, it's a possibility. And also, if you look at the last several months of what's transpired in the NFL, did people think that Devontae Adams was going to get traded to the Raiders? Did people predict that Tyreek Hill was going to get traded to the Dolphins? Did people think that Tom Brady was going to come out of retirement? That Deshaun Watson was going to get dealt? That Russell Wilson would be traded to the Denver Broncos? Nobody expected those things to happen. But in a very lucrative business like this, teams are becoming more and more aggressive to try to capitalize on their Super Bowl windows, and that's exactly what teams do and are starting to do in the National Football League. So these rumors, they do happen. Of course, some of them don't, but we were ahead of the game with the Christian McCaffrey trade, and like IFR Dree said, that's why you subscribe.